Joost, welcome.
Thank you, Marcel. Great to be here.
Yes.
My home game here in Rotterdam.
Oh, yes, of course.
That's pretty.
Yeah. We're here at the ISF Congress in Rotterdam, and we are hearing the buzz of the seed world behind us. So, Joost, you're working with Solynta. Can you tell me a little bit about yourselves, who you are, your background, and what brought you to Solynta?
Yeah, it has been a long journey with me in agriculture. I'm in the business for 30 years now. Actually, this year, the 30th year. So pretty cool. Started as a crop consultant.
Yeah, that is it.
That means giving advice to farmers, to growers, how to optimize their crop, how to manage their climate, really get into the details of farm management, crop management. So I learned a ton there. After 10 years, I decided really to do something different because I like to develop myself and I like to try to make an impact here and there. I went into the vegetable seed business with Seminus.
Yep.
Seed company at that time. Quite quickly, it was taken over by Monsanto. And recently, that has been a journey that was now in the hands, or that is now in the hands of Bayer. So quite some experience in change management, if you will, but also a lot of experience I gained in product management, market development, commercial, marketing, and that's really, I think, what benefits me now in this journey now with Solynta, because Solynta is a small company. We are at 100 people more or less now, and the reason why I made a move to in a corporate environment such as startup, scale up, that is really because I wanted to be much more in the game, closer to the action, be more an entrepreneur, if you will. And I think with my experience in the seed business, I've been focusing on vegetable seeds for all of my career. I think I can add value to help Solynta enable the success that they're in for. So that's super exciting. I'm very happy that I got this opportunity. We're up for something really interesting with Solynta, for sure.
Great, excellent to hear.
Yeah.
Joost, with your company, Solynta, you recently went through a rebranding exercise. Your logo is now more reflecting your focus on true potato seed. Can you share a bit the reasons behind this rebranding?
Yeah, I'm very proud to say this, of course. We're reaching the next phase of our journey, and that is the commercial phase. Started in 2007 as Solynta with an idea, creating an opportunity for farmers outside of the whole tuber system for seeds. And you can imagine with such a big thing as potato in seeds, it's quite a journey. So it took us until last year to really focus on research and breeding mainly. And now we have products that we are selling in the market.
Yes.
We're entering this market space, and I want us to be seen as a seed company now and not just a breeding company. We will, of course, continue to breed. That's the game. But our product is seeds. We will bring true seeds to the market. That's why I think we want to be seen as such, as a true seed company. And that's why we went from Solynta hybrid potato breeding towards Solynta true potato seeds, because that's our product. That's our game.
Hold on a second, Joost. You're saying you're already selling true potato seed?
Yes.
So which regions are you at?
Yeah, this is super cool. We started, so I came to Solynta end of 2022. And of course, my mission as a commercial officer is sell, go to market, make sure we're getting demand, creating demand. And so last year we had our first year of sales with true potato seeds in the market. And very, very cool that this is going on. It's not just trials anymore. It's not just demos anymore. We're actually having customers wanting to buy our seeds. And this year, for the second time, many of those first year customers are coming back. So that's a super cool story. Which regions? I always want to say, because we're a startup, the world is too big for us to manage at this stage. So we are actually selling seeds where the need is the highest. And what I mean with that is the need for starting material, the need for material to start a crop of potato. And that is typically today in sub-Saharan Africa, Southern Africa and Eastern Africa, but also Eastern Europe. Those are the areas where we have our highest sales at the moment. Yeah.
But I hear you say a few things. I hear you say true potato seed, but also hybrids.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, a very exciting thing. Can you share a little bit of the advantage of hybrid potato seeds, and why would a farmer buy those true potato seeds?
Well, this is the most exciting thing to be read on. So I love this question. It's so the hybrids. So that's mainly focusing on how we come to the seeds. As to parental lines, I don't want to make this a technical story, but you create a hybrid that is stable, that is not segregating in the field. So what you purchase if you buy a hybrid potato seed is stable. It will be performing in the field as we want. But for us, and I will come to that later, but for me is that the seed part versus the tubers. So potatoes are actually now reproduced through tubers. Seed tuber system is multiplying, etc. And it's pretty cumbersome. If you look at this year, for instance, because of climate change, there has been enormous pressure on producing enough starting material for a crop in 24, for instance. With true potato seeds, hybrid true potato seeds, you have these seeds available 24/7. So whenever you want to start a crop, you sow the seeds and you can start. So that's why shipping seeds globally versus shipping seed tubers, it's a massive change. Logistically, it's a no-brainer. Seeds can be stored for multiple years without quality loss. Seed tubers, not. So that is just simply saying, okay, the seeds versus the tubers. How I started is the hybrid breeding. Hybrid breeding can be much more targeted than how potatoes are bred today. So whenever we have a new opportunity for traits to be added to our genetics, a great example is late blight, Phytophthora. It's causing 30% crop losses around the globe. So it's the biggest challenge for potato farmers. 2 years ago, we had a good potato variety, a prototype, but that was susceptible to late blight. In 18 months, we were able to breed a multi-stack, so a double gene resistance into our variety, a hybrid, that has proven to be super performing. It's in the field, we've done our trials, for instance, in Ireland, where there's, everybody knows, a tremendous pressure on potato with late blight, and for the full cycle of the crop, it stayed green without spraying under that pressure, and it kept on producing potatoes. So that is, for me, well, I hope not just for me, but also for farmers, a real invitation. Let's explore TPS, because that's the future. We know. We've seen it in the field. Farmers are coming back to us. So that's super, super exciting.
I can imagine your excitement.
And especially now, in this climate change era that we are in, if you keep on producing seed tubers year over year, and you fail one cycle because of the climate, the weather, you are short in the chain. And if you think about potato as a super important crop for food security, I think we all need to look for alternatives. And I think TPS is a super interesting alternative.
Yeah, sure. I'd like to talk a little bit about how do you bring your TPS, your true potato seed, to the farmers, because they're in your warehouse, in your company. How do you get them to the place where it's needed?
Of course, with the experience that we have, it depends on agronomic practices, what equipment does a farmer have, what is the crop rotation schedule, and the local partners. But typically we have two ways of bringing our product to the market. It's from seed to young plants to nurseries. They raise a young plant, and that can be transplanted in the field to produce a ware crop or seed tubers, whatever. So that's one. But the second is much more exciting, Marcel. That's really something that we are gaining much more knowledge about. Is that we call that direct sowing. So we have a seed, and you go directly in the field with that seed to produce a ware crop or a seed tuber. So you take out the whole part of seed tubers and even seedlings, if you will. So that is just a massive change. That's the system change that we're talking about. And we do that typically not directly ourselves. We use partners, distributors for that. But that is, for me, the big revolution in ag, in all honesty. Going from seed directly to the field to produce a crop. And of course, with this system, we can play with density, with irrigation strategy. So it's a complete new system for farmers. And because of there's so much knowledge in seeds from vegetables and other crops, we have such an advantage. So we can hit the ground running. So yeah, super big. This is really cool.
Wonderful. Explain me one thing, Joost. Where would you say that these true potato seeds have the biggest impact? Because for now, farmers are using tubers. So why would they switch to seeds?
Yeah, and I try to elaborate a bit on that already, but this is what it for me the biggest impact. So the current seed tuber system is the system in potato. So you start with the tuber, you put it in the soil, and then you grow potatoes, either for the next round of seed tubers or for a ware crop. But as I mentioned, due to climate change, pesticide reduction pressure, water pressure, that's very vulnerable. Because if you lose one cycle, you lose the next year. So that's where farmers are now. And this year we see examples. Many farmers today globally are not able to produce potatoes anymore to supply their communities with food because of shortage of material. With seeds, that doesn't happen because it's there. I can ship it within an envelope to you, and tomorrow you have it. So that is the big change. This is what farmers are really looking forward to. But not only that, but also the genetics. We can breed for additional resistances. So the example that I shared, if you don't need to spray anymore with Phytophthora, or you can integrate this in your IPM, your integrated pest management system, that is a benefit for farmers right there. Less input costs, better crop yields, better quality. So absolutely, I don't question that farmers are willing to change. We already see it happening.
And so would then the Phytophthora sprays, I think they are around 15 per season, 15, 16 times per season.
At least.
Yeah. So all that diesel that is saved from the tractors, not having to spray, it's additional advantages.
Yeah, and you don't need to go into the field anymore.
Yeah,
because soils, compaction, you want to spray, and it's rainy. So your field is wet. So you cannot have your tractor enter the field. So you spray 1 week later, maybe 2 weeks. And then your crop is already infected. So your quality is already down. So it's just to name a couple of examples, but it's, the advantages are clear.
Awesome advantages.
Yeah.
To close off, Joost, which continents are you most active in?
Commercially, we're already active in all. So that's another level of pride I want to share. But potato is so large, Marcel. 18 million hectares of fields are producing potatoes today. So as a startup, we will not manage that from the get-go. And next to that, the main markets are China, India, Ukraine, and Russia. Okay, so you can imagine that's not the easiest markets for a startup like us to enter. That's not saying we're not active there, but it takes time. Regulatory and all of the enabling environment, that just takes time. So where we are active is where the need is the highest, where farmers are struggling to get material. what I mentioned before, that's Southern Africa and Eastern Europe. That's where they don't have access to material because there's a shortage now. And where farmers want to be self-sufficient. They don't want to rely, or we don't want them to rely on others to provide them starting material, because 1 year it's up, 1 year it's down, then the price flies up, then it's just too volatile.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's how we are playing this game. And it's a promise that we make to our farmers, but also to potato producing industry. Every year we will have better products. We're developing varieties as we speak to battle the challenges that climate is facing farmers, but also legislation. I mean, reduction of pesticide. You need to deal with that as a producer. So the varieties that we're developing are getting better year over year and are getting more customized in the markets that we're targeting to play.
Yep.
And that's super cool. That is, and we're just starting. We're just selling 2 years now. So it's a pretty nice journey that we're on.
Wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good luck with that, Joost. Thank you so much.
Thank you.